Coffeezilla.
The recent Logan Paul CryptoZoo response videos to Coffeezilla, it again is abundantly clear that Logan Paul is a pathologically narcissistic actual psychopath, in line with Amber Heard in a way, project and deflect, accuse others of exactly what you are doing to them. Literally incapable of any form of actual apology or empathy towards literally anyone, even his own so-called friends. If he does try and display being apologetic, which I assure you he will as he gets more and more desperate as he digs his own grave, it's 100% an act only to serve himself. Logan just embodies this pathological narcissism veiled by the act of political correctness that has run rampant in a lot of the youth that has been raised by social media and big tech. I think it's a truly beautiful thing that he is being made an example of and made to look like the fool that he is as he digs himself further into his own grave. So with that being said, I wanted to read some lines from one of my favorite books of all time that I think perfectly captures the individual that Logan truly is. Dispelling Weticos, Breaking the Curse of Evil by Paul Levy. Highly recommended book. The book is a psychological and spiritual take on the evils of pathological narcissism and egomaniacs, those who are infected by this disease and how to recognize it. I think it's useful for the world to be able to identify these types of people, and again, why I think it's a beautiful thing he is being put on display for the entire internet to mock. Weticos can psychopathically and thus toxically mimic the human personality perfectly if it serves their agenda. They can be convincing beyond belief, make themselves out to be normal, caring, politically correct human beings. They can endlessly talk about taking responsibility, but they never genuinely face up and become accountable for their actions. They are unable to genuinely mourn, being only concerned with themselves.
Left Jeff and I abandoned with no team and knives in our back.
They will feign grief. However, just as they try to appear compassionate if it is politically expedient to do so, and hence to their advantage, as they are master manipulators, they are unable, however, to grasp emotionally the meaning implicit in the thoughts and feelings they are exhibiting. They lack insight into how they differ from others. For they do not differ from others as they see others, they are intuitively gifted at sensing what other people want them to give.
So in this video today, I'm going to be defending myself with facts,
as well as being skillful at pretending love and devotion as if they are imitating a person, impersonating themselves. Their existence is a true parody of life.
Successfully use my name for views and money.
They can't distinguish between their mimicked pseudo-responses of love, remorse, etc., and the genuinely felt responses of a healthy person.
You have gotten in the habit of twisting.
Fixed in their own limited myopic point of view, they have no capacity to see themselves as others see them. Their proclamation to the contrary, they have neither empathy nor compassion, unable to see the world through others' points of view.
Which, side note, is how this delusion is.
As if standing on their own head and living in an upside-down world, full-blown Weticos are unconsciously doing the very thing they are reacting to and accusing other people of doing, while projecting the shadow onto others. For example, they will accuse others of projecting the shadow onto them. To use an extreme but prototypical example, it's like someone screaming that you're killing them as they kill you.
It's not anchored to truth and often speculative.
If their insanity is reflected back to them, they think it's the mirror that is insane, suffering from a form of psychic blindness that believes itself to be sightedness. Full-blown Weticos project out their own unconscious blindness and imagine the others, instead of themselves, are the ones who are blind.
Or did you just hear what you wanted to hear and moved on?
The Weticos bug fancies itself as being the healing antibody and ironically relates to the genuinely wholesome parts of the greater body politic, which are in fact the actual antibodies as cancerous tumors to be exterminated.
What type of idiot would work with an unsavory individual like Zach Kelling?
Weticos subscribe to a world where true is false and facts make no difference, a world based on convoluted, flawless illogic, a logic of the nonsensical, a truly deadly logic that is counter-logic to the logos.
Maybe we could have talked about this if you had reached out to me, personally, not my manager Jeff.
With their flawed reasoning, Weticos will use fallacious deduction to arrive at unwarranted conclusions and will subconsciously select data which invariably led to chronic avoidance of the crux of the matter. Split in two, they become schizoid, disassociated from themselves, with one hand not knowing what the other is doing. duality having seemingly established itself at the reigning logic at the core of their being.
To evolve into a person that I can say I'm actually proud of, you led the charge to...
Just as someone infected with the rabies virus will resist drinking water, which would flush out the infection, someone taken over by the Wetico parasite will have nothing to do with anything that will help them get rid of the disease. Weticos are phobic toward the light of truth, which they avoid like the plague,
but has been oversimplified for both views and clicks.
To quote philosopher, mystic, and social activist Simon Well, another effect of affliction is little by little to make the soul its accomplice by injecting a poison of inertia into it.
Continue to build CryptoZoo and I'll see you in court.
This complicity impedes all the efforts he might make to improve his lot. It is as though the affliction has established itself in him like a parasite and were directing him to suit its own purpose. In advanced stages, this process takes over the individual so completely that we could rightfully say the person is no longer there. They are just an empty shell carrying the disease. In a sense, there is just the disease, operating through what appears to be a human being. The person becomes fully identified with their mask, their persona. But it is as if there is no one behind the mask. To quote Jung, the person in question becomes a mere automaton. Such a person is actually no longer there. It is as if their soul has become hijacked by a deeper archetypal force, replaced with a pale imitation of themselves, a true alter personality. So I think that about sums it up and explains why Logan is so genuinely crazy. Anyways, if you found that to be insightful, please like, share, subscribe, and thanks, and bye.